G'day shooters. The InfiRay Cabin CBL19 and CBL25 thermal monoculars cost $2,300 and $2,600 respectively, with image quality to fit the price, as well as a few features to make them stand out in an increasingly busy market. The market for thermal monoculars in the $2,000 to $3,000 range is growing rapidly, and the image quality you get for the money is now very decent in the better units, which includes the cabins. So the functionality and features are now becoming a more important aspect in deciding what to spend your money on. With the cabins, some of the highlights include the built-in LED torch, the inclusion of 2 removable and rechargeable batteries, and the use of a lever to adjust focus instead of a lens ring. But we'll come to all of that in just a moment. The key difference between the CBL19 and the CBL25 is the size of the lens, 19mm and 25mm respectively. It makes the view through them noticeably different. The all-important base magnification of the smaller CBL19 is 2 times, with a reasonably wide field of view of 13.8 degrees. In the CBL25, the base magnification is greater at 2.5 times, and the field of view is smaller at 10.5 degrees. Now normally, I'd say that the wider field of view is going to make the CBL19 the winner for practical spotting, because basically it means that you can see so much more in the frame. But with these 2 units, the CBL25 seems to provide a clearer image with better definition of hot targets, particularly in the red hot colour palette. Now this is despite them having identical 384 by 288 pixel sensors and other internal specs. For all intents and purposes, these are the same except for the lens size. They're both equipped with digital zoom increments of 1 times, 2 times, 3 times and 4 times, which effectively makes the CBL19 a 2 to 8 times scope and the CBL25 a 2.5 to 10 times. The bigger cabin has the longer detection range at a claimed 1,300 metres versus the 19's 980 metres. In ideal conditions, those ranges are about right too, though you need a moving deer-sized target or larger to make it out properly. Both cabins have a full menu of features and functions, including a laser pointer, brightness and contrast adjustments, picture-in-picture, compass, and so on and so on. No criticisms there, they're good. The array of colour palettes are black hot, which is nice and clear, white hot, which is also clear, hot target, which is white hot with even greater contrast, red hot, which is my pick for scanning, and fusion, which is definitely useful in certain situations. In poor weather conditions, you can sharpen up the image with the ultra clear mode, which also works well. The cabin's built-in LED light is a good little added bonus. It can be focused as a floodlight or as a beam that stretches comfortably to about 50 metres. The light's very useful for everything you'd expect. Walking around without tripping over, illuminating the area around you, finding things that are down, etc. When searching for something you've shot, having the thermal image and the light both pointed in the same direction at the same time makes it much easier to find stuff. Underneath the body, a sliding knob adjusts focus for distance. It's a good setup, not necessarily better than if you were turning a focus ring, but it is intuitive and it's easy. I like the fact that InfiRay fits a removable and rechargeable battery, and it provides a spare one. They're decent 3.6 volt 3100 milliamp batteries with a claim life of 7.5 hours, although in practical terms probably 4 hours give or take. Between the 2 batteries you should get a full night's work anyway. They're proprietary batteries though, and while they look a lot like standard 18650 batteries encased in a special body, you won't be able to replace them with any old 18650s. The cabins fit nicely in your hand. The overall size and shape are excellent, pretty much the same as a typical handheld rangefinder, and it's got a strap that wraps around the back of your hand so that the unit's easier to hold. However, the ergonomics of the control buttons are not great. They're small, they're close together, and not as easy to feel as they could be. Even with bare fingers on a warm night, I found it quite difficult to consistently operate them correctly, often pressing the wrong button or none at all. I didn't like it, but the fact is I could probably live with it, and I reckon I would too if on balance I decided that the cabin worked out as the best buy for me. Keep in mind that it would be even harder if you've got big fingers and impossible with gloves on. Not that I've ever found a unit that's easy with gloves on. The other thing is that this is strictly a right-handed design. With the shaped and effective rubber eye cup, that can be reversed, but the strap only goes on one side. It's a shame about those things because the result is otherwise all good, and both cabins offer appealing value. Despite the controls being difficult to manipulate, I reckon the cabins give you the features and functions to make them good value, along with the image quality, which is good. The torch is a really handy addition. I'd probably spend the money on the CBL25, the bigger one, for its improved image quality. There's that much difference and it's a good little unit.